Hi guys, it's May. So it's a new contest starting for the entire month for everybody who comes to Facebook, joins, follows me, shares, comments, interacts, as well as on YouTube. It's counting each time you do it as one entry. So I'm going to give at the end of the month 3 20-minute readings. For those of you who want to know if you won, check the Facebook. I have announced 3 winners today for the month of April, pardon me. Okay, so let's start with the X spread. Hi guys, here is my X spread, and for those of you who know the significators, please look at the timestamp and you can just really go right into the reading. For those who are the first ones here or who still want to understand how am I making this actually work, just listen the explanation, and here it is. I have created a spread. It is known Cat Tarot Knows X spread, but it's also applicable for on and off relationships, and even to kind of like figure out the feelings and intricacies of your relationship. Why? Because I have actually used 7 categories, and 7, right? It's a kind of like really magic spiritual number, and also the entire spread numerologically adds up to 3. 3 is like that card of union of Trinity, so it is something that can kind of like raise from the ashes, right? So I'm just trying to figure out what can work, what cannot work. As I say in my private readings, you have to understand that not all relationships are meant to be. Like when you get together with someone, everything is really nice in the beginning. We want to charm, we want to be our best, but sort of like that enthusiasm maybe kind of like falls off with time. People get sidetracked, people meet other people. So one category here that I'm exploring, the very first one, is the Magician. So in tarot, Magician is a number 1. So of course it means, is this a go? Can this relationship ever be a starter? So what is Magician doing? Magician is somebody who comes to work and he goes, okay, let me crack my fingers and I'm going to start working. What do I need to do today? Wow. And there is a task, it's a little project list, and then he starts to manifest. So it's a start before the start. So what does he want to manifest? Look at the difference. He kind of like wants to use all the available tools, right? You see all of these tools here are now floating. They're activated. So I really want to see what is in this category. This category is going to tell me if you guys had all the ingredients to make a relationship. What in this category you have? Love, devotion, family, kind of like sharing. Then I say, yeah, like really good ground. Like there is like a great foundation for this. But what if you have, let's say, love and then lack of reputation or lack of family or jealousy? Then obviously, that's going to have issues. Sometimes it's just like downward negative. So the things that are supposed to help you are just basically things that are tearing you apart. And sometimes you have all but one element, and that one element seems to be important. It is like having 4 tires for a car, and have an engine, and have windshield, and have all the other windows. Name it, rename it, and the key is there. And you start with a key, you try to crack it, and you realize, whoa, I don't have a gas. So you're not going anywhere with there. So this is why sometimes we feel that the one night stand was like more promising than it was, and it wasn't. It actually haven't ever been there. Maybe at that time and place it seemed kind of important, and it hasn't been important in a global kind of like scheme of things. And we as women, especially women, and even some more romantic men, and I would tend to think that these are the men who are actually coming to these tarot sessions with me. They're like lesser percentage, but there's still 25% of men over here. And I think these are quality men, and I wish that they actually speak up a little bit more, because people who connect with tarot really want to find out the real answers, and they really want to be in touch, not only with the others but with themselves. So this is the category number 1. Category number 2, I picked this angel. I think it's Michael, who is trying to, I think, in biblical terms, merge wine and water. Well, that's not a really big deal. But here in in tarot, it's basically talking about trying to merge two different things. So, of course, in a relationship, there are two different people, and even if you get along, you still have your own intricacies that might not really fit properly, right? So, what's basically happening here is, okay, let's put this together. Let's create this passion. Let's create this growth. Let's create this like solid emotions that we can kind of like step in. However, I'm asking for this card to be reversed. Why? In this category, I want to find out what doesn't work. What kind of like has to be fixed in order for things to kind of really work out. You see, in this after tarot, this angel is kind of manifesting. You see, one is connecting with emotions, another one is connecting with the sky. So literally you're getting, I mean, I love you as the sky is high and I love you as the sea is deep. Kind of like everything, kind of universal. And it's like still this like beaming with reaction. So what basically we're going to find out here is like if things that you have to build are sort of unbridgeable, if they can be built. So then I'm taking Queen of Wands, forget the horoscope associations. Of course, when I do Golden Dawn readings, I have to take everything in account. But even at that point, I'm just trying to see more or less personalities. But here I'm looking at how we really want to be seen in a relationship. So that's a significator for one party, generally for ladies. And if there are two ladies, then I put two Queen of Wands. If there are two guys, I put two King of Wands. So don't get all upset that this kind of represents fire signs, because when we start dating, we are all fire. We all start with fire, right? And it's kind of like fun, it's passionate, we are outgoing, we are playful, we are going out. Even if you're homebody, you will go out. Even if you are recluse, you will go out. Even if, you know, you generally are not very sexual, you'll still have sex. So this is talking about being a little bit different. This is our dating selves, right? So you see here, she has this like beautiful flower, right? And the kitty cat that is right now connecting to her. See, it's kind of like, okay, where do I move from here? Am I kind of staying in my element or not? So here is my communication card. I'm trying to figure out, so in this category here, pardon me, with Queen of Wands, I really want to see what your partner, how did your partner perceive you? So, right, like, I mean, you know that people are generally not really straightforward, and you can go as far as that they're not being honest. So they don't really tell you. They kind of tell you sort of medicated version or kind of sedated version of what they think. And kind of like they don't express generally things that they don't like. So you really don't know what the real opinion is. You just know what you heard. So this is basically telling us what your partner saw in you or how he saw you reacted. So kind of like get this perception they had from their side. Here with 8 of Wands, this is my communication card. With this card, I actually really want to see the intricacies of energies. So this can mean how did you communicate? This can mean how basically, how well do you mesh, right? So in this kind of like position here is showing, okay, are you firing back? Because these wands are falling back, the communication is coming your way. Are you communicating right back? And is this effective communication? So now this is a second significator, right? And this is also same thing. I picked a fire sign, basically significator, because the other person also wants to be seen as cool. This guy wants to be seen, oh my gosh, I'm so charismatic. She kind of like likes me, and you know, I am her king, and kind of like they want to feel this way. You see, kind of like he here has the little salamander, kind of just making his little first step, and here he's holding the salamander basically in his palm. Salamanders basically signify fire, interestingly enough, even though they kind of reside in the rain. A long time ago, in like 13th, 14th centuries, when they were creating these cards, they just saw salamanders jumping out from the fireplaces because they were kind of like be around there, and they thought they were fire animals, and that's how they were actually connected in tarot to fire. So, and then I took Judgment. And judgment is literally for me to feel out how karmically you basically are reacting. Because I also do karma readings. And in karma readings, I can totally see if people are repeating certain patterns, if they're bringing them from the past lives, and that's my past life reading. And it's kind of like it's easier to understand what's happening. But in this reading, cannot go in 20, 30, 40 minutes of that. So I'm just trying to get at least an overview. So Judgment card is talking about a situation that has been evolving, and maybe it's even dead, but it's come back to be alive just for rendering this opinion. So this is more or less a cosmic judgment, a karma card, right? So here are the two phases of that, right? Here it is like, we are here. What? Have it been good or not good? Is it make it or break it time? And here it is, okay, some of you are just going to be dead, right? So your relationship shouldn't go forward, or it should go forward. And this is what karma is saying, right? So I know that we all want relationships, but sometimes it's also good to get closure. And lastly, I'm picking this card for once because this is that celebration card, moving to the next stage. Four corners being solidified. So now, some people say this is a marriage. It just means the next step. It could be reunion, it could be reconciliation, it could be just quality of your relationship. It's not lived happily ever after. Yeah, some of us have been brainwashed with that. You know, it should be called what it is, crap. And please, mothers, don't read these like bad stories to your kids, because if you look how those stories were in their original form, they were not kind or nice at all. So this is just basically saying, are you going to go to the next stage with this person? Because marriage, after all, is just the next stage. There are many marriages that are not working out because you're just starting to build from the scratch. So when I say sometimes in my readings, well, this one phase has to end, another one has to start. So this could mean you're going from dating to steady, from steady to engagement, from engagement, so and so forth, so on. So you see this kind of like movement in this phase is exactly that. You're going from the celebration, I say, okay, we are giving this a try. So in this category, I'm exploring how well you guys are going to do. So when I do all of these categories, then I sort of like look at the intricacies and how this works. So if category, which is supposed to be the glue, is just not forming the glue, no matter how much you want, you're going to fall apart. You can still stick together, hold on to each other like for dear life. It's not going to work out. And it's good to know. So guys, hopefully this is kind of more understanding the categories. Check it on my website as well if you want to see this video again. I'm going to post just a short clip there, but also explanation of each card is over there. And if you want to order this X spread, then you're getting energies that are just between the two of you, not these generic energies that I am actually explaining on my site. The difference is like here there are many people, and so basically some people are cross watchers and they bring their energy. So sure, it can give you some general opinion and you might see it here. Most of the time people do, but to get really the energy between 2 or 3 people, please contact me for a private reading. The prices are on my site, so visit me there at www.cattarot.ca. Thanks, love you. And guys, if you want your spread that is still on the special, it is $45. So please contact me. My information is in the description on the site, or go on my website www.cattarot.ca. Hi Cancer, welcome to your May X spread. So let's see what's in store for you. If you guys just skip through it to get to this point and you don't know what these significators mean, please go and review it. It's going to take only once, and the next time you would know. It is kind of important. So for those of you who know, like the Magician is the toolbox that you have. So let's see. You have Magician in Magician, because actually I took from my old card deck extra card significators, so I can actually have these in a basically circulation. And this means that you are basically in this relationship, it's taking the worst out of you. Like this is a trickster, this is somebody who is promising a lot but doesn't mean it. It just like serves their own purposes. Temperance reversed. So what needs to be glued in this relationship? Well, lots of things. It has to be rebuilt. Tower is talking about the foundation was not even properly built. Like everything has to start from the scratch. So who was the manipulator in the relationship? So two significators. Which one is you? You have to decide. So you might be seen as somebody who is like slowly getting out of cold. This is like your first week in May here. So the communication could be about love and getting together. How do they see themselves? You see, they see kind of like they are tapping in the dark. They really don't have their like intuition. It's kind of like fishing to figure out what is going on. Lots of energies over here, Cancer. Okay, so karmically, how is this basically seen? Okay, it's good. This kind of like is you, Cancer. You do need that kind of like softness. You do need somebody kind of approaching you with a reasonable way, kind of, okay, let's talk about it. Like, I mean, let's have this understanding. So karma is saying, yeah, it's kind of like a nice nurturing quality that kind of can exist here. So like these are really two energies that probably are yours, Cancer, that are reflecting and implementing themselves in that relationship. As far as reunion, right, it talks about possibility, but it talks about that things have to be done. So that's the Tower here, that something has to be shaken down, but it has to be shaken down and be worked to be like equal. Somebody and both partners have to equally give and take. So you had this like 5 of Pentacles, now you have 6. So it's the story that is following normal progression, right? So somebody was left in the cold, and it's kind of like getting an idea how to get out, and now basically understanding a little bit kind of situational kind of perspective. This also can actually mean third person, but so far I don't know about that. I'll see. So the week 2. In your box, well, there is a strength. So now 3 yellow cards, really good. It's kind of sunny so far in Cancer land. What needs to be built is communication. You have the communication card in the repair sector. So maybe you do feel loving, but this is not communicated properly. And obviously, one person feels disconnected, another person feels like, oh, geez, you know, I'm being left out in the cold. And it's just like miscommunication, basically. Has to be discussed better. But like, I mean, what is basically gluing you is that feeling. It's like you still have this feeling that they're kind of carrying you through. How are you seen? Yeah, you're seeing as like, okay, you want to move slow, but you know, you will be extending an offer to kind of build things slowly, possible, just as a friendship. Or maybe the friendship will be offered to you. And yeah, but this friendship might end up to be something really, really solid, because Page of Pentacles friendship is like building things on a proper ground, especially going from 2 of Cups to 10 of Pentacles. So actually some of you might go through this turmoil, might go through this complete confusion, and get to this point of building this give and take. And rebuilding the strength, rebuilding the communication, saying, okay, let's start. And some of you may recommit. This can even mean engagement with this combination. They are still, however, guarded. And it could be about some kind of financial resources, or how basically that is being shared. It is really guarded on a very practical level. Judgment. Well, Judgment is saying there is like certain impatience over here. Like you have lots of Pentacle cards. Like look, you had a 5, you have 6, now you have 7. And it's reversed. So there is somebody patient, like understanding it takes time to grow the fruits on a tree. And he's like looking and reviewing, like so far the work, so far accomplished. But here is like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm already in the 7th stage, but I just like really want to give up. And like it's overwhelming Pentacles, and that tells me either your ex and you have been in the final stages of where do we go from here, and something happened, or you felt manipulated, or somebody was basically interfering with your relationship. But now you're looking if this relationship can be done on a proper ground, and sort of like really day to day, which kind of indicates to me going in a really, really solid relationship. Reunion, yeah, you see, this kind of talks about boundaries, and this is talking about, okay, there are no boundaries. Somebody, so you go from 6 from balance to kind of like now it's again a little bit out of whack. So let's see the third week. Okay, in your box you have sort of like, well, I don't know what they want, and that could be very Cancer energy. I'm kind of like bored with everything. I'm not sure if this is like the right thing for me. And it's also the person who is also, it's another 4, he's also covering his heart chakra, right? Just like here. What needs to be fixed? You see that Page of Pentacles, that extension, and it's mostly you're going to extend this kind of like offer. Well, let's try to do it, and then somebody might take it, but on a very kind of guarded level, and then might just take it, or just might give up, or might give up right away. But here it's saying, yes guys, that building day to day, if this is ever to continue, has to be really addressed. So how you're being seen now, you're going to start being brokenhearted in a week 3, or again, that can be the third person. He will, you see, as his significator, or he or she would say, okay, I'm still around, this is kind of passion, and this could be just sexual offer. Yeah, at this stage I do see third person, absolutely. And they are more than willing to just like, I mean, sit and lie down in both beds. Basically, doesn't bother them, and doesn't bother them even to tell you that they want to have this family with you. They might even tell you they love you, or you might be the one telling them you love them. But the impatience is there. They would, the moment when you say, okay, let's go out and let's have a dinner, they would just can't wait for the check to come, like, so they can actually go and have their way with you. It's literally not there. I think everything is done on a really false foundation, and that's why you have the Tower here. There you go, another 3. Karma is saying, no, the ships are not going to go anywhere. And yeah, the communication is kind of like, it's a cut off, it's abrupt, kind of like stop, or somebody's just like giving you, like, or you are giving them, like, everything that goes to them. So guys, 4th week is not going to make any change over here. This is kind of all over. Somebody is really leading you on into something. I'm surprised that I didn't see 7 of Swords yet. Yeah, you see in your toolbox, cutting off things that are not working out. There is another, like, what needs to be repaired. It's not fulfilling at all. How you're being seen, at least you're checking out. The passions are kind of, you're seeing for what it is actually at this stage. Communication, there is like nightmare. You're finally getting it. Oh my god, this is what was going on. It's, things are sinking in. Like, oh my gosh, you're so hopeful, and you just like really want to give this loving energy. But yeah, and they have somebody. They have somebody. It's realization, or maybe they will even tell you, because this is cutting, this Ace of Swords is talking about cutting in a truth. Judgment is saying, yeah, this was strenuous, like, you know, expecting for more bad things from this person, expecting the attack, and it's sort of like saying lesson learned at a very high price, right? So you have a 9 here, you have a 9 here, you have a 9 here. It's talking about the endings. So you have a 1, cutting it off, cutting this dead end off. Yeah, this is kind of like saying, you know, you need to balance yourself in emotions. It also can say there is a third person that is like impacting your relationship. So for Cancer, just check out before this all happens. This person is like so not good for you. Like, you're going into that so open-hearted, and it's going to really, really harm you, especially in the 3rd and 4th week. So if you want your private reading, please contact me. This might not at all resonate with general level if you have like various energies in you. So yeah, my contact information is in the description box below. Good luck, Cancer. Love you.